Good morning, students.
Morning, sir.
My name is Rajesh Datta. What is your name?
My name is Rachel Datta.
Rachel. And what is your name?
Tanisha Tucker.
Tanisha. Well, um, I'm going to ask you a question. And which part of the city do you belong to?
Gurgaon.
Gurgaon. What is your hobby, Tanisha?
I like reading, painting, listening to music.
Oh, that's good. And what do you feel about Gurgaon?
I think it's a pretty developed country. It's good. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sorry, city.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I prefer it more than Delhi.
Okay. Thank you. Now you're going to tell us about your topic. When you have finished, Tanisha will ask you a question and then I'll ask you a couple of questions. Would you like to begin, please?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about adolescence. Adolescence, it is a transitional stage from physical to psychological human development, from from puberty to legal adulthood. There are also certain risks that adolescents they go through, such as like alcohol, car crashes, etc. So, but also without these risks, the adolescents they would not know they would not have any confidence in themselves. They won't have any motivation to change themselves from childhood to adulthood. So that and then also in adolescence, your sex organs change, your height, there's changes in height and weight and muscle mass, etc. And also your self-esteem it increases, your relativity, your reality thinking it changes, you start questioning things more. And also in the teenagers, they like to be themselves more often. They don't really go according to what their elders tell them to say. So that's what adolescence is. And teenagers they like to be free to express themselves.
Right, Rachel, thank you. Now, Tanisha is going to ask you a question.
My question is, as a teenager, you go through so many ups and downs, mood swings. How do you manage with that? How do you deal with it?
Well, I've got my friends. If I have certain problems that I'm dealing with, I can call my friends and they can like guide me. They can give me such certain advice, and also if they're not available, then there's music also. Like I really love music, listening to music, and if there's a certain artist that I look up to, then their music helps me to be feel better.
Right, thank you. Now, I'm going to ask you a question, Rachel. What's your impression of adults?
Adults, they're my impression about for adult. They kind of they tell you what to do, which is actually good. They guide you from childhood. They've been there for you. But also there are certain times where they can say rude stuff to you, which kind of gets you. And plus in adolescence, whatever somebody says something to you, something rude, it can really hurt your feelings, and then you can think that they don't like you,
Okay.
because you have this thing in adolescence that you want to feel good in your peer group, in your with your parents and everything. So, but they've helped the adults. They guide you, and so I respect adults.
Well, that's good to hear that. And, well, thank you. Now, Tanisha, you are going to tell us about your topic. When you have finished, then Rachel will ask you a question, and then I'll ask you a few questions. Are you ready to begin?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
My topic is careers. A career is a progress through life. And these days, there's so many career opportunities that it's really hard for you to choose. You could be a DJ, a painter, a writer, anything that you've ever dreamed of. But the only problem is that you have to make this decision at a very young age. And sometimes it takes a lifetime for you to decide whether you want to do something or not. And as far as the subjects you take in high school are concerned, they have to be related to the career you want to choose. In my case, I took commerce as my stream with maths, and after some time, I realized that I really wanted to take law as my career. But now that I have different subjects, it's hard for me to shift now. So in order to get into a good law institute, I have to study the streams of commerce and humanities. I would like to say that it's never too late to know what you want, and people keep telling you to love what you do, but it's important to do what you love. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Rachel, your question for Tanisha.
You just said that you like law. You really love law. Why do you want to take law?
I've been brought up in this law background. My parents are lawyers. My granddad is a lawyer. My uncles are lawyers. I was always interested in all these amendments, acts, and different laws, especially criminal law and etc. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Tanisha.
Thank you.
My question for you is, why is science or commerce in our country a better option than humanities?
It's not. I mean, my opinion, it's not. You should do what you love, and it's important for your inner self. It tells you that you have to do this. Like for me, I mean, I'm kind of late, but it's never too late again. People have this mindset that commerce and actually engineering is the way out. That's it. But we see there's so many people. I mean, many people take humanities these days, and all those political people and the big people in India, they're not from the science or commerce background. They're actually from humanities. Yeah.
Can you give us a few examples, or
For
maybe one or two?
example, Arun Jaitley, he has actually taken law, so which is a humanitarian subject. That's
Are you sure about that?
yeah, he was a lawyer.
Okay. So you've done any research on these politicians and celebrities?
No, my dad keeps telling me that guy's a lawyer. So.
Right. Well, thank you, Tanisha. Well, I'm going to move you to your next task. This is a card which has information about a problem. I am going to read out the information here. I would like you to read it too, and then discuss this problem and how it can be solved. You have 2 minutes to discuss it. Your friend wishes to study abroad. He is very good at his subject, but weak in English. With your partner, discuss the problems he could face at the interview and how he could improve his speaking skills. Would you like to begin, please?
Yes.
Yep. He could read books.
Watch movies and TV shows, especially with subtitles.
Yeah, they
That
help.
actually helps.
And what about the interview part? He could face in the interview problems.
The thing is,
He could
it'll
stutter.
it'll mostly be like in his mind that he can't speak English, and that's
So he could go to a psychologist maybe to get that fear out of his head. He could.
and actually practice speaking it in normal life, like at home, and then
He
at
could be
school,
in front of the mirror and then
and
he could
practice.
practice.
and he has to
yeah.
get that out of his mind, that nervousness. Has to go.
People do go to nervousness.
Even if people are good in English, they
yeah.
do stutter, and they're very
What if
conscious.
what if his friends they're good at English,
Yeah, they can help.
they can help him out. Yeah.
So the change has to come in everyday life.
Yeah, change will be there. So, but we will definitely support him if he wants to go abroad, study abroad.
I know he's good at his subject,
Yeah.
so weak in English is not much of a liability. So
Yeah.
there'll be people around the world too.
Yep. Even abroad, the teachers abroad could help him out. So
All right. Have you arrived at a solution?
yep.
Yeah.
What is it?
He could he could read books because there there are these long words in the books that he could look up in the dictionary,
Yeah.
and he could watch movies
Yeah.
and television shows
With subtitles, that is really
that
helpful.
help. Yeah, they help. And then his friend could help him. He could support him. Like if somebody's good at English, they could help him. They could support him, and they could tell him that English is not such a liability
and-
of language.
And he should practice speaking with his friends, family, so he's comfortable with the
Yeah,
language.
he could converse in English
And
instead of any other language.
do you think your friend would like your suggestions? How would
If-
he?
yeah.
or
If he
she
doesn't
react?
like it, then we could give him another suggestion. If he doesn't, if he's not into reading books, then he could watch television shows. If they're in English, he could watch that. And if he doesn't like it, then he could talk to his parents in English, because English is not a really hard language.
All right. Well, we'll have to stop there. That's the end of the test. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.